For Thanksgiving, we're going to draw a turkey, right?
Yay, turkey!
So we're going to draw a turkey. He's going to be a fun little turkey, not a serious turkey. Okay, so that's what he's going to come out like. So right here near the top of the page, we're going to draw his eyes, and that'll set his face and the rest of his body. So near the top of the page, what you want to do is draw an egg shape. Okay, and that will be one of his eyes. And right inside that egg shape, draw a perfect little oval, a little bit over to this side, to the right. Because we want him to be looking at us. And when we draw both his eyes and put the pupils this way, then he'll be looking at us and not away from us or off the page. Now we're going to draw another eye next to that, but it's going to be a little bit behind his beak because his head is turned to the side. So what we'll do first is draw the beak. So starting right here near the bottom of his eye, draw a nice curved line going out and bring it down. And then bring it across a little bit. And now we're going to go up and curve it and give him a little smile right up underneath his eye. Just turn it up like that. That's the top of his beak. And now for the bottom of the beak, very easy. Go right behind this little bump you did. Just do a nice little crescent going back underneath his smile. And now curve it up to his eyeball. And now you have a nice little turkey beak. And now you can draw his second eye. It is the same shape as his first eye. It would be a little smaller. And because it's behind his beak, we don't draw all of it. So you're only drawing about 3/4 of his eye. And that gives you the illusion that this eye is closer to you. The beak is here, and then the other eye is slightly behind it. And this time we'll draw the pupil right alongside. So it's the same shape as the pupil, but it's disappearing behind his other eye. Does that work?
Yeah, thank you.
Now, right underneath his beak here, before we forget, let's give him that little turkey waddle. That little red turkey waddle. Just make a little wavy line. Okay. So from this little waddle here, his neck is going to come down, and it's going to end up right about here. The turkeys have a relatively long neck for a bird. So what you do is you draw a line swooping down, make it nice and rounded like that, and swing it around. And then it's his head that goes into the neck. So right from his eye here, you're drawing a turkey head, and then you're curving down to show that his neck is there. And now you can finish out this line. And when you do that, what you're getting is the effect of this is his head, and it's behind his beak and his little waddle, but then it curves out in front. By drawing this line past, it looks like his neck is curving up front and then going back. And turkey necks have very little feathers, very thin feathers, tapering to almost no feathers in their head. So that's why we drew this as a solid line, because it looks different than the rest of his body, which has a lot more feathers. Now, turkey body is real easy, especially in this, the way we've drawn him, in the position we've drawn him. Now, you don't want to draw a smooth line all around because he's got feathers sticking out. But you don't have to draw all those little feathers. What you can do is a little ziggity line to show that there's feathers. So start drawing a line and then give it little bumps as you go around. And it basically shows what would be called texture. But in this case, since you're drawing a turkey, anybody who looks at it is going to understand that those are the ends of all of his feathers. And then it goes over the back and the top to meet. And if you wanted to, and you're playing around, you could add lots of little feathers in here for detail. Now, I'll just show you what it's like, but you don't have to do it. because people are going to get the sense he's a turkey. And what you're doing is just drawing little U shapes for other feathers. But if you just left that jaggedy line all around and colored him brown, he would look exactly like a turkey. He has two wings, one on the side here and one on the side here, but this side is turned away. So all you have to do is draw a little bump out for a wing on that side. On this side, the wing is going to be here on his body. And because he's turned to the side, it's not long. A turkey wing is longer if you're looking at him from the side. So if we had drawn him in profile, you could draw a nice big wing. But since we're looking at him straight on almost, what you're going to do for a wing is just draw a line down and do a couple of those ziggity lines like that, and then circle back. And that shows that you're looking at the end of his wing, not the full length of it. Okay, now we're going to do some fun turkey feet. Okay, we made them a little rounder and I guess cuter than turkey feet are. Turkey feet look like chicken feet, so they're usually a little bit more elongated. But because he's a cute turkey, we want to give him cute feet to go with it. So draw a line coming down, straight down. Now round it a little and come out. These are more like Foghorn Leghorn, if you guys know Bugs Bunny cartoon. He has bigger feet than a chicken would, but it's cartoon, and so it's cuter that way. And we're going to draw 3 toes, but we're starting to see, we're looking at his foot here. So we don't want to draw another long one. We want to draw a shorter one like that. And the same thing with his last toe, which would be facing right towards us. It's almost a little round shape like that. And that's because we're looking at the end of his foot. If we're looking at it sideways, we would see everything elongated, but we're looking straight at him. Draw a line going straight back up to his body. And one thing chickens and turkeys both have is a little claw on the back of their feet. So we're just going to draw that as a little bump here, which is a little shape. And I'll zoom that in a bit so you can see. It's just a little bump on the back of his foot to show that there's another claw back there. Now he's not a one-legged turkey, so it's time to do his second leg. So right here from underneath his body, draw a line coming down. And draw another line coming down. Now, because he's turned to the side, see how you drew his face turned to the side, his body is turned to the side, so this leg is turned to the side. But this leg would be facing directly towards us. If you drew it sideways out this way, well, then you'd be a little bit spread-legged, but that's okay. But what we're going to do is we're just going to basically draw 3 toes that we're looking right at. So this line becomes a toe. Then we're going to draw a nice rounded toe right in there. And then one more to finish it out. 3 toes in the front. And then they have that little claw in the back. And even here, we'll just do a little bump, and I'm going to zoom in so you can see it. We'll just do a little bump out there behind that one toe to show that his foot has an extra claw in the back. Now we're going to do the best part of a turkey, which is the turkey tail. It's a big floofy thing. They have it. Peacocks have really long tails like that. And the easiest way to do it is, what we're going to do is we're going to draw a couple different feathers, and then we're going to draw little feathers in between them. So what you do to start off a turkey tail is we want to go above his head because it's a big tail. So draw a nice long feather shape that goes above his eyes. Then leave a space and draw another one that's not quite as long. And then down here, draw one that's even shorter. And what we're going to do is we're going to draw a couple of these going all the way around, and then we'll fill in other feathers. So there'd be another one right behind his head. So make a little feather shape poke up above his head like that. And as we go over, here again, there would be a feather here, but most of his head is covering it. So draw a line up and come back down to his beak. And this one's going to be just about as long as this one. So what you're going to do is you're going to go up. It's going to go behind his beak. And then it's going to come back down around like that. And then one more, and this one's going to be shorter because this is where his tail's disappearing behind him. Now, he'd be a very sad turkey this way because he only has a little feather here and there. But the reason we did this is feathers overlap on their tail. So you don't see feathers lined perfectly up. They overlap. So imagine this feather is behind the other two. And make little feather top shapes to connect the feathers that you already drew. So just go up and down, up and down. So it becomes a fan shape, up and down. And you have a turkey tail. Okay, and turkeys have, if you have red, this would be red. There are a lot of brown. They can also be grayish black. And then people like to put a little bit of striping in the tail. So you can just take your pencil and add a little bit of striping in his feathers because they do have a pattern to their feathers. And leaving the ends white like that kind of makes his tail look cooler. And then go back around and maybe give him a bigger stripe all the way around. And you can do this with color. You don't have to do this with your pencil. And then you get a fantastic little turkey tail.